Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Type V3, and fans of the Crimson Comet rejoice. Your savior has arrived. This is the 1 to 100 scale, Master Grade Gundam Amazing Red Warrior, the definitive version of Meijin Kawaguchi's legendary mobile suit. Breaking it down, this MG model kit is comprised of 20 parts. There's 16 main plastic runners, beam effects, a set of polycaps, foil stickers, and a marking sheet. When it comes to the concept, it's important to note that this kit isn't entirely new. The construction of the inner frame is derived from the 2.0 Master Grade Gundam RX-782. There are some Red Warrior specific additions like the shoulder thrusters, chest, front hip skirts, and feet, but otherwise it's about 90% identical to the preceding kit. However, every other aspect to this release, which basically boils down to all the visible parts, is new. Speaking about the assembly process itself, the Amazing Red Warrior can be likened to a remixed version of the 2.0 MG Gundam. It's straightforward by modern Master Grade standards, and most builders shouldn't find issue with it. The only real concern here is the red plastic's easy susceptibility to nub marks. Just be cautious in the cutting and cleaning up phase. After a straight assembly, you are presented with a great representation of the Amazing Red Warrior, and really, there is not too much else to say beyond that. Between proportions, part separation, and color choice, it's pretty bang on. As you'd expect from a Master Grade, there's definitely a couple extra details thrown in here that don't appear on the animation model, though these additions aren't complex by any stretch, and the general aesthetic of the mobile suit remains relatively simple. The step between the two tones of red plastic is slight, yet noticeable, and because of the increased size of the model kit, the bold colors don't wash out the smaller details. Sticker use is exclusive to the head, specifically the eyes and rear camera. Speaking of which, I love this head sculpt, it just looks perfect. Or, at least it's far better than the high grades interpretation. Overall, an out-of-the-box build of the MG Amazing Red Warrior provides exceptional results. When it comes to furthering presentation, I have to be honest, this kit doesn't really provide many places to do so. First off, if animation accuracy is the goal, well, then there's nothing else to be done. Seriously, it's fine as it is. True panel lining opportunities are sparse too, with the focus instead shifted towards edge lining. Although at the Master Grade size, I've always found the edges to be well defined enough, and highlighting them further isn't a necessity. The one thing that actually did a lot more than expected were the extra markings, and I think they just add enough to elevate the look. Although they are controversial as they do go against on-screen accuracy. Regardless, the MG Amazing Red Warrior is a great looking model kit. Height-wise, this model kit stands at 7 inches tall to the top of the head and 7.5 inches to the tips of the V-fin, about the average size for a Master Grade Gundam. For articulation, the Amazing Red Warrior's head is on a ball joint, so it goes pretty well in all directions, and then the base of the neck is also on another ball joint, which allows for more hinging action to go back and forth and side to side. It's all pretty well done. The torso is great. There is a ball joint right at the waist that you can swivel side to side and move, but there's also a double hinged mechanism in the mid-torso, and what you can do here is you can unlock the waist, move it up, and then you can get some wicked ab crunch going on. It goes backwards well, too. The only problem is that a gap does start to appear, but that's kind of expected with really articulated robots. For the arms, we'll start with the shoulder pad options here, and these are just on hinges that go upwards, and the main connection is on a ball joint, which can spin backwards and forwards and whatnot. And I just showed you there for a second, but this whole assembly is connected to the arm shoulder joint, which is on just a ball joint that swings out completely forward. So you can get some really good rotation there. And then the shoulder pad here is on a separate hinge that can move independently, but you have to move this out of the way first for that to actually work. It's not much, but it does allow for some maneuverability. The arm itself is on a separate hinge, it goes outwards. And then here it's pretty basic. It's just a bicep swivel. You do have a double joint at the elbow, which is fantastic. And then for the wrists, they are ball joints on a hinge that connects to the palm, and the hands themselves are the 2.0 Master Grade hands, so they have a ball joint at the thumb, and then each of the fingers is connected on a ball joint, which then has a knuckle joint that lets it bend midway through the finger. And also this shield here is just a simple ball joint connection. The front hip skirts are on a ball joint with a hinge, so these can actually shift up and down a little bit before having to move out of the way completely. The side skirts are on ball joints that just move outwards. And the back hip skirts are also on ball joints that can move backwards and shift out of the way should you need it. The hip connection is pretty basic, as you can tell. It's just a universal joint, so this goes forward, it goes outwards. You do have a thigh rotation. Double jointed knees are pretty excellent, if not a little stiff sometimes, but they're pretty excellent. And that's what you have there. For the ankles, you don't have a forward pivoting hinge. What you do have is a side-to-side ankle rotation. And then for the actual foot connection, it's just a giant ball joint there, which works pretty well for not forwards and backwards, but side to side. And the cool thing about the side to side motion is these pistons actually do move. And to finish everything off, you do have a ball joint here for this piece, and you do have a toe joint right there. The backpack is pretty straightforward. These arm sections here are each on universal joints, one here, and one here. And they can just move out however you choose. They generally work. I've had no issues with them. And these thrusters just are on ball joints, and they move in and out just like so. Articulation is excellent on the Amazing Red Warrior. Could there be more? Maybe. Still, the important thing is that it's all very usable with little to no factors impeding it. Accessories are fairly decent with this release. Let's start with the items already attached to the Gundam. On the right side is the Hyper Bazooka. It swings forward, the barrel extends, and the handle flips up. There's a corresponding tab in the middle of the mobile suit's palm to assist with the grip. It looks cool, and the yellow sticker for the lens is nice too. On the opposite side of the body is the gun blade. This detaches completely, and you're also given a longer option for the blade. The adjustable handle allows it to be used as both a sword and a handgun. The blade pieces are done in silver plastic, though I still recommend painting them for greater effect. Next is the kit's modular rifle system. There's a standard beam rifle, and then there's a short rifle with your choice of two options, short beam tip or Gatling gun tip. Both include a matching sensor too. They look great, if not a little basic, with their all-gray construction. Additionally, either of these options can be connected with the standard beam rifle to form the long rifle. This weapon is large and imposing, though it will need extra assistance when wielding. Thus, connecting it to the backpack arms is mandatory. Obviously, there's not enough arms on the backpack to store all the weapons simultaneously, yet there is a solution to this. Included are these small connector pieces. Also, the side skirts on the MS slide down to reveal a port. Using these 2 points, you can store any of the guns on the kit's hips. As a side note, when the weapons are in use, you can rotate the connection socket in the guns to give them a cleaner look. The simplest of accessories comes in the form of 4 beam effect parts, 2 short and 2 long. Any one of these can slot into the integrated beam saber on the Gundam's forearm. As for special features, there's 2 pairs of hidden missile pods on the Amazing Red Warrior. The first is in the chest, and these are revealed by pressing in tabs located on the Gundam's back. The second pair are even easier to access, as the front hip skirts just slide down to reveal them. Both are effective at enhancing the display. Like many MGs, this kit features an opening cockpit. It's basically a door that slides up in the chest. It doesn't actually reveal a whole lot though, as only the pilot's legs are visible. Finally, an action-based connector has been included so that the Gundam can be given aerial displays. The 1:100 scale Master Grade Gundam Amazing Red Warrior is an excellent release, if not a bit expected. If anything, it's a great beginner's Master Grade. The build process can be seen as a Remix 2.0 MG-RX 782, which keeps things relatively straightforward. The visuals, even from straight assembly, are great. They should meet expectations if animation accuracy is the top priority. Articulation and accessories are also good. They don't carry the most complexity behind them, still they work and provide numerous display options. It's a solid release through and through, and Build Fighters fans will enjoy it. On the other hand, for those without the Build Fighters excitement behind them, the Amazing Red Warrior may not offer enough to satisfy. The concept behind this Gundam has always been sheer effectiveness, and that quality shines through like a beacon with this release. While every aspect of the kit is done extremely well, these characteristics have been achieved with little to no fanfare. There is no X factor to this kit. What you see is what you get. Make no mistake though, even if the MG Amazing Red Warrior doesn't feel like a special release, it's certainly an amazing Gundam. But that's all for me. Thanks for watching, and before proceeding further, I believe there's a darker matter we must address first.